the British military in Kenya is accused of raping Kenyan women and abandoning the children. Hello, I am Mahlet, Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent. Now, the British Army, it has a base in Kenya at 3 different places in Kenya. About 400 British military are present there, some permanent, some rotating. Now, it has been years already that this military have been accused of, there have been allegations that they are raping the Kenyan women, in which they, at 3 different places where they are based, and abandoning the children. Now, the children speaks to themselves as their color is different, like they are biracial children. Now, there has been from Kenya's side about 2,187 cases of rape so far. Now, what the British government has done is that they have taken the matter in their own hands, meaning saying that we will investigate this, we will investigate our own soldiers. And then they investigated, and guess with what results they have come up? They said they have not found any evidence so far, but when you usually are accused of rape, and there are children involved, meaning that out of that rape, if a woman gave birth, then you have to make a DNA test. But none of the investigations that's carried out the British government has held a DNA test. So how on earth will they be sure that whether they raped or not? I mean, there is an obvious evidence, and they're not willing to take that test. So this is what they came at. But Amnesty International on its side, since 2023 alone, they said they have 650 rape cases of by the British military against Kenyan women there. Now, this tells you that the state of Kenya is not doing so much to prevent, its own people. First of all, when the Kenyan women are raped, it should be, not the case should not have been handed to the British government. And particularly when they come up with a result that's saying there is no evidence, although there is a very obvious evidence like this, people who are, their color is so black, and there are children coming out like this, and this happens where the British military is based, then you have to carry out a DNA test, and the Kenyan government has to insist and protect its own people and ask for a DNA test to be included in it, which the Kenyan government failed to do so. Now, that is as far as this rape and abandoning of children is concerned. Now, let me just read through a bit through the article, so that now this particular girl cases that they face also discrimination. They are poor, they don't know where, because it's in a village mostly, it's not in the city where these militaries are based, and they are discriminated, and they are bullied by the local people. They tell them, oh, you are Muzungu. You know what Muzungu means in Swahili? Means like a white person, not like, it's a white person, and it's not really a nice name to be called. So they tell them, go to your country, and these children, they don't know their fathers, and there's also economical problem, and this many things. Now, her name is Marian. Okay, there was a documentary made with Juma, her mother, that involved her mother, but the mother died after 2 years. So she tells her plight that she's facing every day in this place. Now, look, this is what she said. Now she's 17 years old. I don't know why God is punishing me. I don't understand. That is actually the mother who said this. That was in 2011 documentary, but after 2 years, she died. And so the Batuk, it's called, the military is in its acronym, it's called Batuk. Batuk means that the British military unit in Kenya. The British Army unit in Kenya. That's British Army training unit in Kenya. Okay, let me get it right. Okay, and there are other also, cases, small children. This is, the village coming together and talking about it. All they see is, the woman is pregnant. Sometimes it happens also. For example, the woman has, a man living with her, and she's raped, and then, when only the baby comes and the baby has a different color, then the man abandons them. You understand? So now, let me just leave this here and let me tell you one thing. Now, this is not the first time how the British Army is actually, um, harming, the society, the very, the culture, and, all types of things, the ethics. What it did is, when it reached a climax. Actually, one British military officer has raped a young girl, and she was found dead and thrown in a hole. We reported about it around when King Charles visited Kenya, and she was found dead. And it was after he took her to a hotel, and then right after that, she was not that was the last time she was seen. And there are witnesses who testified for that. And then she was found dead, thrown in a hole. Now, the man was not, immediately transferred to back to UK, and he was actually seen, on social media, doing just whatever he wants, and actually joking about the matter of the accusation of him, raping and killing that young woman. Now, when King Charles visited Kenya, he was specifically the Kenyan diaspora who lives who lives in the UK, asked this case, and also the case of, where during colonization, British colonized Kenya, and they have committed a massacre to the Mao people, to the Mao soldiers and their people. So, and their land is taken, and so many things. So there are still the cases there, because their ancestors, the one who, the descendants of those people, are carrying the matter, but it was not really, resolved. One time they were told that they won the case, but only to find out that they have been cheated, because the case, it was a lawyer from UK that took the case. So a lot of mischieving has happened around that thing, and still it has not been resolved. But the worst thing is that it's not the state who is presenting this, to the UK government. It is the people themselves and some advocates who care about them. It's not the state. If had it been that this thing was, represented and taken, that the government has taken responsibility, then we would have seen a different result. So I told you, now there is this raping of women, and then abandoning the children, and then also raping, and then killing the young girl. That did not get any result, any solution, any compensation. Number three, the commitment of a massacre against the Mao people, or during that war they have killed many people. In fact, it was termed as a massacre that has not been also resolved. Last thing also, what happened is, this British military, they are not only raping women, and allow me to put it also, they are raping also the nature. What they have done is, the military during training have used this chemical that caused a fire on a farming land, and there was a fire, and after that burning, the land could not be farmed anymore. They cannot, the people who live there, they could not use it anymore, and they have to be displaced or moved to another place without any compensation. And this was also one of the things that King Charles was asked to look at, and in fact for him to pay a visit, but he hasn't done that. So there is a lot of crimes that the military is committing, but it just keeps on the state keep on being an accomplice to this by not representing its own people. Okay, so several of them. I mean, when you see such things, I think the first thing you have to do is you need to pack and go. Which neighboring countries that Kenya has a war that the British military or a foreign military has to be there? There's a US military also there. Now Kenyans really have to watch not only, with what it is doing, not only harm its own people, but also the neighboring countries. So let us know in the comment section of this action of the British Army in Kenya. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hello, Mikodi Politics present their DNA and ask government of UK to come with results to address with issues. This is national security levels and war crimes. It force was used in the act of conceiving. Yeah, there you go. You can you have put it in a better way. Any camera, they were together before her demise and last moment. No, the people in the hotel has testified that they have seen her going with that military officer into a hotel. It was the next day or something. She was after that she was not seen and then found in one hole, thrown her body, dead body. That was the thing. So I'm not sure about the camera, but the people have testified it. Maybe I will pin it in the comment section so that you can see the video I made when King Charles visited Kenya. So that's not the only thing. The only thing, let's not forget the fire on the land, and it will not be used. That's a chemical weapon that they have used, and it cannot be used anymore. And you are displacing the people from thousands of years, whatever, many years that they have been farming and living there, and all of a sudden you do that and you don't give compensation. The same thing to the Mau people. You can Google it and look it up. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and give it a like if you like what we bring you here. Share the video with others, and you can donate to our PayPal account if you want to help us or support us further, which will be good for us to be here more often. Next one, we will come live with Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso speech, a recent one, the one he made yesterday. And please tune in and hit that notification bell so that you will be notified for our upcoming live streaming. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.